Hi, everybody. So I wanted to show you guys a little bit about the intervention from the Icarus model of equine assisted therapy and learning, equine attached. So this is my herd, and they are out here. Coral is being drink in her stall. What I do with equine attached is the book attached is a wonderful reference to kind of use with people before you do this activity. So the book attached goes through both these attachment styles, but they only use three. So the book uses secure, anxious, and avoidant. Secure is the relationship that we kind of want to have. We want to have that give and take, that secure attachment. But there's also nothing wrong with the anxiously attached. So we don't want to put negative connotations on those at all. Anxious people in relationships need a little bit more reassuring, they need a little bit more attention. And an anxious person goes really well with a secure person, or two secure people go well together. But two anxious people would not do well in a relationship together if they had two anxious attachment styles. Now, anxiety is different than anxious attachment style, as most of you guys know. Most of you guys are counselors who are doing this. Um, so the third one is the avoidant. So the avoidant one is you kind of play games. You're a bit hot and cold. You might glorify the relationship. You might be really warm via text or phone. But then when it comes to in person, you're kind of cold and confusing. So these attachment styles are really difficult in relationships. And the book says this is a big part of the dating pool after age, I think it's like 30 or 35. So I want you guys to think of those attachment styles. And then what we do is we engage the horses in that. So equine attached is having all the horses together. And this is better done in a herd. So at least three horses at a time. I have two right here. My third might come. I'm not sure. She's kind of snoozing over there in the stall looking at me. And it says she wants to come at any time. I have my gate open right there. And you can kind of see she is in her stall, just kind of snoozing after we did a little bit of morning exercise. So, what I would ask people is, what attachment styles do my horses have? And this can be done with the horses, or you can actually just sit in the barn and observe their behavior. So this could be done on a rainy day, a bad weather day. This could be done with a newer potential client that you have enough rapport with to talk about these kind of personal relationship styles. And they would just watch. Ideally, they would watch the horses interact. So if you'd like to, you can actually put out an obstacle course or something to engage the horse's attention, anything but food. And you would just see the horses and see if they can label their attachment style. So right now, with all the horses being secure by themselves, doing their own things very independently, that would most likely be secure. So it would be interesting if a client labeled all three of these horses as avoidant because they're seeking space from one another. And that's when you can really define with the client what these attachment styles are. Avoidant isn't really avoiding people at all. It's very, deceiving in the label. So as you can see, Zale's playing. CG's thinking about going out, but he's actually self-soothing right now, drinking some water. Now he's licking the mounting block right over here. Now he's starting to watch oh, he had a big release. So that's interesting. I labeled the attachment as secure, and he had a big release. So Fiji actually is pretty anxiously attached. And see, big releases right there. So that's pretty profound in what I just said, because what we're working with Fiji on is helping him to find a more secure attachment with life, with the horses, with his human. So with clients, I might point out that shift. I wonder what Fiji thinks about the attachment style you labeled with him. Ooh, and see right now, there's a little bit of this stuff going on, and I would ask the client what they think about this. They might say, oh, he did not want sail by the gate, or they might say, oh, they were playing. So for me, that's normal play for these guys. And now he's going to want to play cameraman. Very inquisitive, very curious. These are all traits that I really like in horses. I want them to be curious. I want them to be playful. Still keep their personality. And Coral's still snoozing over there. So this activity can be drawn out as long as you want, or it can be as short as you want. But I love giving the clients enough time to process. I don't really like to correct them. I like to help them understand the styles and then explore why they think the horses are in certain styles. And just like this, Fiji wanted to play with Zale. Zale walked away, and Fiji respected that. So now Fiji's kind of processing on his own. He is a little bit anxious when he does that. So when he plays with his mouth, he is a little bit anxious. So I pointed that out, and I'm going to breathe to kind of help him regulate. And if you notice, he's in his self right now. So as IFS would call it, he's in his self. Now he's looking to the environment. And now Zale is kind of coming over, and he's going to let him know, no, 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 I'm not ready now. So Zale is going to show him his butt to say, I'm coming in no matter what. So, really interesting equine behavior right there. Zale knows he can go in close as long as he has his hind end facing Fiji. Oh, and it looks like Zale is protecting that bucket he's playing with right now. He's not letting Fiji come into it. To see Fiji's getting a little nervous because my breathing did change. He did get kind of directed from the mini horse. So just learning your herd is really, really helpful too, knowing what anxious behaviors they have, what excitatory behaviors they have, their pecking order, and it can always change. So if you see, Fiji is really rapidly kind of changing his back end. Oh, and he just went square. So he squared up in the front and see, head went down, relaxed. Now he's processing. So he's emotionally balanced, he's processing, no longer playing with his lips, and Zale is lightly making his getaway while Coral sleeps. So that's a little bit about equine attached, and we would process that at whatever level the client needed us to process. And then at the end, remember, I always ask clients what they would like to end on. I love to do some bilateral stimulation stuff if we can, whether that's brushing the horses, walking, maybe passing the ball back and forth, whatever your client might like to do.